I call her Betty. I let her be. I've been selling wedding dresses for 5 years, and I won't lie to you. I'm great at it. I can spot the style the bride wants the second they walk through the door. My monthly commission is more than double what my coworkers bring home, and I'm content doing what I love. The only downside is Betty. Our dress shop is iconic. In a historic town that used to house stars from the Golden Age. In the 50s we sold evening wear, but nowadays we mainly do bridal and some custom orders. I was closing the shop alone one night when I first met Betty. I had just closed the till and was about to flip our closed sign when a woman appeared at the glass door. She was stunning, ethereal really. She was taller. I would say about 5 feet 10. Her hair seemed long, but was pulled into a French twist, the color of honey. Ivory, poreless skin. Light green eyes. She was wearing a vintage dress, lavender. She really was so lovely. She apologized for being last minute, but said she was eloping soon and needed to purchase something off the rack for the occasion. No problem, fairly common request nowadays with elopements being so popular. When I brought her to the rack she immediately steered towards our vintage line, picking out a classic Dior which everyone admired but left alone due to the cost. Cost isn't a factor, she said, tracing the lace with her fingertips. I liked her already. She insisted to get dressed alone, and I obliged. I continued my busy work until she stepped out of the dressing room. I normally go through the same script in my head when a bride comes out in a dress. Oh, stunning. Your groom is a lucky man. He will cry when he sees your beauty. But now, I was speechless. She truly was the most beautiful bride I had ever seen. She sparkled, twirled, admired her reflection. Oh, this dress, she squealed. I don't need to see anything else, I'll take this one. Perfect. I clasped my hands together. Go ahead and get changed and we will get this rang up for you. It's truly your perfect dress. She smiled at me. Tears welled up in her eyes, and she turned and went behind the curtain to change. I was humming to myself at the register, thinking about what vacation I could book with the commission, when I noticed. She's been changing for a while. At least 15 minutes. I walked up to the curtain. Miss? No answer? Miss, do you need help? Please don't be embarrassed. The zippers can catch on our vintage dresses sometimes. Nothing again. Are you Ellery? I gently moved the curtain aside to peer into the fitting room when the sight before me chilled me to my bones. Betty stood before me in her beautiful Dior, engulfed in flames. She was standing still, but shaking, like something I couldn't see was holding her still while the flames burned the flesh off her beautiful face. She looked like a lovely painting that was slowly, painfully melting. Her eyes were wide, unmoving, when she whispered, "Help me." I screamed and jumped backwards, not fast enough to avoid the tips of my hair burning at the contact of the flame. I'm getting the fire extinguisher. Hold on, stop, drop, and roll. I hollered while running to the back room, cell phone in hand. I hurriedly dialed the fire department and got an operator as my hand reached the extinguisher. Hello? Yes, there is a fire at the wedding gown shop on 5th. Please hurry. I ran back to the front, towards the flames, closed my eyes, and unleashed the extinguisher all over the flames. I was crying, screaming, hoping I was quick enough to save Betty. I was still spraying the fire extinguisher when the sirens parked outside. They're here, miss, stay calm, I said, stepping forward to cross the white foam. Only she was gone. At first I thought she had crumbled into ash, then I realized that couldn't happen that quickly. Another thing I saw was that the dressing room was pristine. No fire damage, no flames, not even a smoke smell. And the Dior was hung up perfectly on the try-on hook. The fire chief burst in, asking where they needed to go. When they saw me standing alone in the residual foam, they looked puzzled. I tried to explain. I told them about the woman, the flames, the dress. They all looked at each other amused, like I imagined it. Oh ma'am, you might have just had a candle lit too long. No danger here. The firefighter said, He asked if they could call anyone for me, and I just softly shook my head. Once they all had cleared the store, I closed the door and locked it tightly. I know I didn't imagine it, how could I? I reached up and ran my hand through my hair, and that's when I felt it. The tips of my hair burned off. I chalked it up to an aggressive ghost story, and tried to move on. But Betty came back. Every single evening, she comes to the door, asks about a dress for her elopement with her sweetheart. Same hairstyle, same lavender outfit, same heartbreaking smiles. I used to berate her, demand to know what game she was playing, threaten her with the police. Her eyes always go wide with concern, and she starts to cry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to upset you by coming to the shop so late, ma'am. I'll come back tomorrow, she will say, dabbing her eyes with a tissue she takes from her leather pocketbook. And sure enough, she's back the next day. It took several weeks to accept Betty wasn't from our time, or even from our current world at all. Once I accepted it, I sympathized with her. So now, when Betty comes to the door, I always let her in to browse. But I always tell her we don't open our dressing rooms so close to closing time. She always agrees, browses the vintage dresses, and stops at the Dior and smiles, swearing she will be back tomorrow at open to try it on. She will leave, and I go on with my evening. I wish I knew who Betty was, and what happened to her, where her sweetheart was. And I couldn't help but wonder if he was the one who had lit her on fire to begin with.